Welcome back modders to episode 4, Modding Other Mods. This video will show you what you need to know to start modding classes and functions from other mods. So in the last video we modded the vanilla game, this video we're actually going to mod another mod. In this lesson we're going to be using the wonderful Namalsk Survival as the example mod that we will be modding ourselves. We've got permission from Sumrak, the creator of this mod, so thank you very much to him for allowing me to use his mod as an example for this lesson plan. It's very kind of you. More specifically, we're going to be overriding his EVR Orb Event positions, and we will pass in new vectors of our own choosing. We will also be using the Daisy vanilla notification system to send warnings out to all the players, and we might even put a cool icon in there as well. Let's see, what else? I think we'll also tweak his IsSafeFromEVR boolien, so that we can add more protection for if you're under a structure, not just inside a vehicle, but you know, there's many different types of structures, and when I've played this I've found that sometimes I'm not getting the protection from the EVR. So what we'll do is we'll just add in a little bit more protection so that if you are under a structure that's not technically classified as a house or a vehicle, then you will still get the protection. Totally optional, you can omit that from your code if you want. I'm just going to show you anyway because I think it'll be helpful. You should have already watched the previous episodes, as we'll be using our project template again. Before we get started, I want to quickly go over the copyrights for workshop content, because I know there's a lot of misinformation out there and just plain misguided beliefs that you can take whatever you want if it's on the workshop and put it in your own mod and you'll be fine. I'm here to tell you now that's not the case. Before I tell you what you can and you can't do with Daisy workshop content, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself first, so you don't think I'm just a strange guy telling you random stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about. I actually do. I used to work for GTX Gaming for a while, and then after I left working for GTX Gaming I went to work for Kingston Solicitors, which is a law firm. So I do know a little bit about what I'm about to say. I have read through the terms and conditions. I'm not going to go into them specifically, but you can find them. They'll be in your at the very bottom of your publisher. You can also find them on the Bohemia website. I'm not here to go through that with you. I'm just going to spit it all out in basic terms for everyone to understand, and because of my history I feel a lot of you will then be able to believe me when I tell you this. You can't take stuff from other people's mods, okay? Whether that's images, models, codes, scripts, textures, anything like that. It's not on. You see, we are protected on the Steam Workshop by copyright. A lot of people think that the Bohemia terms allow you to just take everything and use it however you want in your mod. That's really not true. So please don't believe those idiots when they tell you that. They have read they will tell you they've read the terms, right? And they will point out specific sections in the terms, but what they fail to understand is the terms as a whole. You need to really read it carefully and understand. And once you actually do read it and you stop listening to these idiots, you will see that your workshop content is fully protected by copyrights. And if somebody does steal your content, you have it within your right to then issue a DMCA takedown notice. Now, 9 out of 10 times, nobody is going to enforce this past the free DMCA takedown notice. But if you do take someone else's work and they do submit a DMCA claim on you, and you do fraudulently counteract that DMCA claim, okay, you are then vulnerable to further prosecution. Okay, that's very important you understand that. 9 out of 10 times, nobody's going to prosecute you over a workshop mod, but you do have that risk. So you shouldn't take other people's content without permission. Now that's very important, that last part, without permission, because there are cases where you can take other people's content. You just need to ask them. Most modders are really friendly guys and they'll be happy to help in whatever way they can. But I'm going to show you how to override, so you don't need to actually take content. Instead, you can just override mods. You can mod another mod. Now what you are allowed to do is you're totally allowed to open any mod you see on the workshop and read it to see how it's made. That's all part of the learning process. There are some douchebags that obfuscate their mods. They're really not in the spirit of the community, if you ask me. But you know, there's reasons they do that, and there are people at the end of the day that do go out and steal people's work, claiming it as their own, selling it, that kind of thing. So I totally understand why some people would obfuscate their mods, but I will never do that myself, because my belief is that code, mods, programming of any kind is actually supposed to be read by humans, not just machines. So you'll never find any of my content obfuscated, but I do get why people do it. So again, you don't need permission to read people's mods. It's always nice to ask. It's like a common courtesy, but you don't need permission to do that. I did ask Sumrak, because I'm a polite guy, and he did say that it was totally fine. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Open Steam, go to the workshop, find Namalsk Survival, because we're going to need to read his code in order to create our own mod, and hit the subscribe button so that it downloads. Open your Daisy tools, and then go to your project drive, your P drive, and find our project that we made in the previous episodes. If you've got another template and you want to keep the last example mod that we made, for whatever reason, just keep it, but for our cases we're just going to go into the scripts for world and delete what we made in the last video. Great. Once Namalsk Survival has downloaded, open your Daisy game launcher, open the mods, find the mod, here it is, Namalsk Survival, right click it and open the folder, hit I understand. You can close the launcher now. Inside Namalsk Survival, open this, open the addons folder, and find the ns_daisy.pbo. Right click this, and we're going to open it with our Macero Tools program that we set up in the first episode. So hit the open with, and it should say extract all PBO types. Click that, click OK. Let it do its thing. Now that's done, press any key, we can close that now. And it's opened, it's gave us a new folder here because it's extracted the PBO into its raw form, and it's also, because it's Macero, he's also converted all of the files inside so we can read them all. So open it, and open the config.cpp. Now we're going to need for our mod the CFG patches class name of his mod, which is CFG patches class Namalsk_survival. So in our project, my first mod, open your config.cpp, and at the end here, add a comma in the required add-ons section on line 8, and then paste it in here. So Namalsk_survival, copy, paste it into the required add-ons section. And what this is going to do is this is going to tell the game or compiler or whatever you want that it needs access to this class for this mod. So for my first mod, it needs access to this class, and this class. Okay, so we can save this now, and you can change the name if you would like to. I'm just going to keep it as my first mod for our lessons, and close it. We also, I don't think we need, we don't need any more Namalsk Survival config cpp open, so we can close that. Now for the classes that we're going to mod for the EVRStorm, it will be in scripts for_world namespace, Namalsk Survival. So the first class we're going to mod from Namalsk Survival is going to be the environment class, and the function is going to be the IsSafeFromEVR boolien. And we're just going to do this to add a little bit more protection, because like I said in the intro, I found a couple of places in game that I wasn't protected with modded buildings that weren't set up right, like custom content from the workshop, stuff like that, maybe custom maps. So to do that, open the classes folder, then the environment folder, and find environment.c. In our project file, open the scripts folder, the same, because we're modding a class from 4_world, we need to be putting our custom script inside the 4world namespace, and then we'll stick to the same naming conventions as well so that we can keep track easily of everything. So we'll make a new folder and we'll call it Namalsk Survival. You don't need to, it's just nice to stick to the same layout. And then classes, and then environment. Now these can be named whatever you want. You don't even need to. You don't even need folders. You could put them as long as it's in the correct namespace, which is the 4world namespace here. As long as your script is here, you don't really need folders. But I like to, because it keeps things clean, it keeps things organized. You know where these. So if you want to reference it in the future, you know where everything is. It's a handy thing to do. So open text document and environment.c. Make sure it converts from text to .c, and then open our blank document. We'll move it to another view, and we're going to take the class environment with the modded keyword because it's modded, and we're going to find line 173. Right at the bottom here. So we're going to override this. So bring that into our custom script. Use the override keyword. And on the end, just hit before the brackets and the semicolon, just press space and do the line. Oh, that's not the line. What is the line? Oh, there we go. There's the line. Okay, do 2 lines like that. And then is under roof, open close brackets. So what that's going to do is it's going to make sure that not only is the player inside a building, he's also inside a vehicle, but he's also under a roof. So now he is safe from the EVR event. So what that'll do is if you've got a custom map with custom buildings that haven't been set up properly for whatever reason, it's going to give you protection if you're under any type of roof. You may not want that, so if you don't want that, skip doing this file completely. I'm going to save it. It's a nice thing to have the extra protection. So we've got the modded class for the environment class. We've got the override keyword for the boolien variable function, and we've added the extra check for IsSafeFromEVR. So close this, save and close this now. We're not going to need this either, so minimize that. Now go into the events folder, the EVRStorm folder, and open up the EVRStorm.c script. In our custom project, make a new folder, events, new folder again, EVRStorm. Inside here, new text document, EVRStorm. You can name it whatever you want, doesn't matter. .c, as that's the only part that matters. And then open this, and we'll move this to another view. And we're going to be modding this class, so again we need to have the modded keyword at the top. Close the brackets. Now the functions that we want to mod in this class are on line 1015. So let's find that line. 1015. How is it? Sorry, 1050. GetRandomTeleportPosition. So this method, this whole section here, this is called a method or a function. And what this is doing is this is returning a vector position. Now, a vector is basically a data structure which is used to represent three-dimensional positions in the game. So like X, Y, Z, that kind of thing. It's used for player positions, objects, everything really. In video game, every video game will have some form of vectors. So this is what we're going to want to override. So we'll copy this part, and we'll bring it into our custom script, and we'll use the override keyword. Don't forget to close your brackets. Now, you can read his code. Sumrak is a wonderful scripter, and his code is just a dream to read. So if you want, you can read the whole class, and you will learn a lot. What we're going to do for this example, though, we're not going to do that much. We're not going to get that much into the scripting side of it. We're just going to directly override. So we're not going to invoke super here, I don't think, and we're going to override these 0, 0, 0. And I think what we'll do is we'll just return. We'll just directly return a vector. So use the return vector, open close brackets, and semicolon. And then in our brackets, we're going to want our positions. So like so. Now remember, in arrays and lists and things like that, we do not have a comma on the last entry. So now when this method gets called, instead of the game or compiler or whatever going through this function, it's been overridden, and it's overridden to return a vector. Now for our vector, we're going to need to use a tool like Daisy Editor or your admin tool just to find these positions that you would like. So let's do that now. Open up your launcher. If you don't have it already, Daisy Editor. Load the Namalsk Survival mod, and then we'll have access to the orb in the editor. Click Open Editor and open the map and click Select. Okay, so now we have the editor open. We're going to need to get two positions. We're going to need one position for where we want the player to teleport when he jumps inside the orb, and we're going to need to find another position for where the orb itself will spawn. So let's just I don't know, do it somewhere. Let's here below. We'll do it at Balota on the airstrip. Okay, so in your search bar here, type VFX underscore the thing underscore thing. Here it is. And just stick that down where you would like it. Maybe a little bit higher so that it's like just off the ground. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's where our orb is going to spawn now. We need to find a position for where it's going to teleport the player. So I'm going to go over to one of these towers. This one will do. And right here, I'm just going to put a little box down. Gift box large. Okay, it's went underneath collision mode maybe. Oh, almost had it. The editor can be weird sometimes when you're trying to do stuff on roofs. So it's going to teleport the player where the gift box is. Go up to File, hit Export, and just export it to init.c and just give it a name. And then we can close this now. Open your documents, open the Daisy folder, and find the editor folder in here. Find the new .c file you just created, my first mod, and open this. Around line 26 you will find the orb, and 27 you will find the box, along with the positions. So just go back into your script, GetRandomTeleportPosition, this is the method for the player teleport, so that will be the gift box position. Copy the position, put it inside the brackets, and just add comma in between the first and the second entry, because we exported it to .c, and these vectors, they need commas separating the entries. So that's it. We don't need to do anything else now. We don't want to invoke super because we want to directly override the entire method. So that's why we haven't done super here, but in most cases you would, and I think we will do it later on in the script. For the next one, it's going to be the getEventPosition method. So back in Sumrak's script, we'll find that it's on line 1076, getEventPosition. And he's even got a comment here saying, do you want to change the orb? You do it here with this method. So we'll override this in our custom script. Close the bracket. Yeah, we'll override the whole thing because we don't want any of the other stuff. We just want to return. We just want again return another vector. So return vector, open, close, semicolon on the end, and then grab your position for the VFX thing. Copy that back into your custom script. Return vector, yeah. And of course, don't forget to put the commas in. Now this next part is totally optional, but I thought it was pretty cool. DayZ has a notification system which we can use, and if we actually, I'll put it in the comment here. Here's a link to the actual function that we're going to use. Send notification to player identity extended. This is a vanilla DayZ function, so you can use this in all your mods. It's great, and it takes some variables here: player identity, player, float, showtime, string, title text, string, detailed text, string, icon. So we could even put our own custom icon in there as well if we wanted. And this website is great. If you're not sure about a function, you can come to this website, paste it in here, and you can search all the different functions and read all about them in much more detail. So to put a notification in, to warn the players that a EVRStorm is about to happen, first we're going to need to find the mid-phase server method, which is on line 278. Mid-phase server, right here. So we'll override this in our custom script. Close the brackets, and for this one, we don't want to override everything here. So instead, this time we're gonna invoke the super dot mid phase server, open close brackets, and then semicolon. So now this will call the original method, then run our custom. And for the custom, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna use the notification system, and underneath the super, we're gonna add the notification to the players. So again, go to this website, find the class. What class is it in? Oh, the class is just notification system. Okay, so type the class notification system dot. Then we need the actual function, send notification to player identity extended. And inside the don't forget your semicolon on the end. Inside the brackets, it takes some variables. So the variables we want for a global message to send, excuse me, to send to all of the players, we're going to have null for the first one, separate it with a comma, 3 for the second one, comma, And then we've got a string, which is going to be our title. So let's do EVR warning and an exclamation mark. And then we're going to have another string variable after this, which will be the subtext. So seek shelter now. And then we'll do another exclamation point because you gotta go. And then separate that. And now the next one is another string, but this is a path. So back in our project file, let's go outside the namespaces, back to the root, my first mod, so where your scripts folder and your config folder is. And let's just put a new folder in here, and we'll call this images. Now you're going to need an image to go in here. I've already got my own, which is in my PAA sap mask and surface mask tools, maybe? PA converter. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so I've already got one here and it's in PNG format, so you can just, and it looks like this. So you can just, I just took it off the internet. Anybody, I think you can find it anywhere. I might be able to share it on my, I'll share it on my Discord if you want to use the same one. So this is the image that we're going to use for our notification. And if you don't know about this tool, I got this from Armor 3 tools, and then these batch files are just, these batch files just convert whatever's in the folder to the appropriate format. So I'll share these. I don't think I can share this tool because it's not my tool to share. You need to download it from Armor 3 tools. But I do think that you can achieve the same thing with the text view tool here. So if you open your PNG with text view, you can then save it as PAA. So you don't even need this, but I much prefer this because I can just click the batch file and it'll convert it into my toxic icon.paa. So now I've got my icon, I'm going to drag and drop it into my images folder in our project on the P drive. And close that, I don't need that anymore. And we will fill out the path now, so it's my first mod, images, toxic icon.paa. So back in our custom script, for the last variable, which is a string, we will open it up like that. My first mod / images and then / toxic icon dot PAA. I think that was the name of it, right? Toxic icon, images, my first mod. Capitalization is important. So now we have overridden the mid-phase server function to send a notification to all the players, EVR warning, seek shelter now, and it's going to show an icon as well. So we can save that and then close it. And we can close that as well. And we can also close that because we're finished with that. Don't forget to clean up in your workshop folder because we did extract a PBO. So just delete it once you're finished. Open up your handy Daisy desktop folder, PBO project, make sure your source is selected, crunch the mod, open the folder on your desktop and delete the contents from your exported PBOs on your P drive, drag it in. We did all this twice before already, so I'm sure you're familiar with this now already. Open the DS utils, process the files to sign them. Let's publish it. Open your private server, the test server. Make sure your logs are clear. Delete the mod we were working on in the last episode. In your launcher, you're going to want to take Namalsk Survival and add that into your server for testing. Don't forget the key, sumrack.by key from the mod to your server keys folder, and then obviously the mod name as well in your start bat file. Put it before our custom mod, so cf vpp admin tools Namalsk Survival semicolon then our custom mod. Save it. In your mission file, init.c, we're going to need to add some code for testing the Namalsk events inside the custom mission class. So inside the custom mission class, make a new space, and then find Namalsk Survival again. Go into the extras, regular, into the mission file, and open up his init.c. Scroll down to the same class, custom mission, and find this override void on init method. Copy the whole method into your mission file, paste it, and we're just going to tweak some settings here for testing. So instead of 550 seconds, we're going to have just 55 and then maximum 100. And we're going to cancel out some events so that only the EVR event will run. And we want it to pick it like all the time, right? So we'll just put a 1. Okay, so save that file. You can close that now, close that, minimize that. Set up all the mods. So unload the editor mod that we were using before. So we've got CF, VPP admin tools, Namalsk Survival. Add my first mod with a custom name because we're going to be using that. Don't forget to repair it because we did update it. It's back in your private local server files. That's where we're going to put it. Okay, so all the mods are set up. Let's run the server. And always remember while we're testing to have your server logs open on one side and your client logs open on the other side. Like that. Okay, we're in the game. Let's go spawn ourselves an APSI so we can check out if our mod is running right. Item spawner. APSI, and also I think it needs a battery as well. There we go, and I think you've got to hold L to activate it. Okay, let me fix my resolution here. That's a bit better. And we put it at Balota, didn't we? So, where's Balota? Are we near it? I have no idea. Let's just teleport there. Oh, there's the orb right there. It starts out very small. It's going to take about 20 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes for it to grow big enough for us to jump through it and test the teleport. But the code that switches its position has worked and it's starting to grow now. So we just got to wait here while it grows. Okay, so now it's had a chance to grow a little bit. Let's put our APSI on and we'll get in it. Move the cart move the car close so we can actually jump in the orb. Because I think I put it a little bit too high. That should do. Okay. Testing the orb teleport. Hey, it worked. Perfect. Okay, let's test out the notification now. Let's go back. Where is it? Okay, so the orb's still there. We'll just wait for the notification to come and make sure that works. Okay, so I can hear the storm in the background is building up now. We should be getting a notification, a custom one that we put into our custom script, with our little custom icon as well. That should come somewhere at the top of the screen. The whole event lasts around maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, so you're going to have a lot of fun testing. Okay, there's the EVR warning. Now, you'll notice that was a bit late, so you might want to change the location of that in your script. That doesn't really give players enough time to find shelter. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to, instead of putting it in the mid-phase server, you'd want to put it in the mid-phase function, sorry. You'd want to put it in an earlier stage of the event. But that's outside of the scope of this video, so we're just using this as an example to show you how things work modding other mods. So we can close that now because we know that it's all working. Now remember in the last video I told you about checking your server-side logs and your client-side logs, so make sure you do, and if there's any problems, if you've made any errors, it'll come up in one of these logs. Thanks for watching episode 4, Modding Other Mods. I hope it's helped you to understand how things work. Also in Steam, before we go, if you go to your workshop, go to your mod. In your mod Steam workshop page, you would need to add a required item, which would be Namalsk Survival. So now, people who want to use your mod will know that it requires Namalsk Survival mod, and the launchers will automatically set everything up as well. So that's everything. Thanks for watching, happy modding.